And welcome back. In our previous video, we went over the Scrum Master and how he broke down our architecture in our brief in our PRD from our sharded architecture, and it built stories. And as you can see, we have stories of the different processes that we need to build in order and how to test them and how to build them. So next, we're going to hand this over to our developer. So let me kind of go back to the diagram to kind of show you in Bmad and user guide. After our analyst with our project brief to our UI expert, to our architect, which created an architecture document, to our project owner, which validated everything, and then we handed that off to be sharded, so they're smaller files so that they can fit inside our context window. We hand that off to our Scrum Master, who created a bunch of stories for us to hand off to our developer agent. For our developer agent, I recommend using the strongest model that you can think of in regards to coding. Right now, I think ChatGPT 5 Max is pretty good with Max mode. It's really smart. Grok 4 is really good too. Grok 4 is really good too, and so is Claude. Is really good at coding as well. So let's go ahead and call up our developer at dev. At dev, and then do star.help. And now that we have the developer here, we can tell it to develop a story based on our stories that we've got done already. You can have it run linting tests, have it explain certain things that we want done, or you can ask help. Let's go ahead and tell it to develop our first story. So let's go with developer. Go ahead and develop story 1.1. As you can see over here in story 1.1, we got current state. It's basically what it needs to build first is kind of the client source pages and map API endpoints and kind of build these things here. So we're going to go ahead and let this thing run and see what it builds. As you can see here, it found the story file for 1.1. It's discovering and pulling in the necessary sharded documents that we have up here in relation to it. It's grabbing the packages that it's needed and then continuing on. So you continue to see it's writing more code. It's checking for linting errors and continuing on. So it is now completed story 1.1. It is completed. Let's go to stories. Sorry, let's collapse Bmad. Let's go to stories. Oops, under docs, stories. So you can see under this, it is showing all the things that is completed, checked them off, but we still need to review and validate that these things work. So that would be the next steps. So it would want us to manually go and check these and make sure all of these things work, and that we can tell it, hey, yes, this is correct and this is working correctly. And then say everything was working correctly, you can say dev, all things have been validated for 1.1, let's go ahead and develop 1.2. So as this is going through this, sometimes what I will do, as you can see before, we use a lot of our context window development. Normally after I create each story or develop each story, I'll normally create a new chat and kind of clear this one out, just kind of clear the context window. It knows how to automatically pick up where it left off. Just so right now, I didn't do that in this example, but normally you want to is do that, because right now it's holding everything of the story 1.1 in its memory as it's already working on story 1.2. So just as a thing in the future, go ahead and start a new chat for each story that you work on in development. So as you can see, let's make this a little bit bigger. it went ahead and built all the things for story 1.2. There's 1.2 and all the things associated with it. And yeah, and all how the testing works and everything. Let's go ahead and keep all that. See what else is here inside of this. But you get the general consensus so far of what I've shown you so far, how development kind of works. But you would continue on after you do each story. You would do testing, make sure that part works before you kind of go on to the next story and stuff like that and build it, etc. So like you would want to make sure you tested fully 1.1 and 1.2 before you started building 1.3 and all the things associated with it. And with that, not going to make you sit through me developing all of these stories. That would take several hours of development and testing, but it definitely speeds up the process. The next step, I will show you QA and how you QA all this stuff. And thank you.